Hi everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. How you guys doing this Tuesday afternoon? Thank you for being here. The weather is nice. Guys, take care of yourself. Go out to the beach. Um, do things to uplift your spirit. Music. I like music by the beach, sitting when the sun goes down, of course. Sitting, watching the sunset with some music playing in the background is always something positive and calming to me. Do things that calm your spirit, especially in this uncertain time that we're living in right now. Do things to uplift your spirit. Stay around people who motivate you, who support your endeavors, people who are going to lift you up and who really, really support you instead of the toxicity. We see what that's about. We see that all around us. So uplift yourself. And laughter, add laughter. That's the best medicine as well. Comedy shows, sometimes some people like to go to comedy shows. Sometimes I do that, and those things help your mind, your mental, to take you out of any form of sadness or toxicity or grief, etc. One day at a time, one step at a time. Know that all these things that I'm talking about and that I do talk about every day on this channel are things that help me, and perhaps they'll help you with whatever you might be going through. So keep tuning in, because if it doesn't resonate with you today, I'm pretty sure another topic of the next day will resonate with you somehow. And I talk from a place of my own personal experiences of what I've gone through. And perhaps I say something that helped me to overcome these challenges and pain and etc. can help you as well. So please keep tuning in, subscribe to the channel, invite others to do the same, because we're here to help uplift. Because we know what the other stuff is about, tearing down, etc. We see. So let's stay in a place to uplift one another. So guys, with that being said, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a social worker, and I'm not a counselor. I'm someone who shares everything I've gone through and how I'm still here, and I'm still moving forward with the help of God. This is not a one-man show, as I always say. Prayer has helped me tremendously, because without God and prayer, I would never be able to do any of these things. My strength is drawn from God Himself. So guys, with that, let's get into this topic of discussion today. It's a good one. The topic is, I have some notes here because I want to cover everything. I don't know who's listening, but I want to make sure that you guys know that I can understand what you may be going through, because many of the things that you might be currently going through, I've already gone through them. And I'm going to talk about some ways I overcame those problems. The topic is, be careful who you help. Be true to yourself. Be careful who you help and be true to yourself, because everybody is not in your presence to get genuine help. Let's talk about that one. Do you know someone who doesn't want to work? Do you know a person who don't want to take care of themselves? They want you to take care of them because they feel entitled to everything that you build and that you have, simply because perhaps you share DNA, perhaps they've known you for years, etc., and so forth. And they feel entitled to everything that you build, your hard work, your degrees, everything that you've done in your life, which didn't come easy. They feel entitled to it because they know you, they share DNA, etc. If you know somebody like that, please stay here with me, because I've been dealing with this majority first part of my life, not anymore. And I'll say it like this. When my dad was here, we used to go back and forth with this all the time, because I'm not the same person that I was back then. I always thought that if I helped someone and showed them my true self, how much I love and care, that they would thrive, right? No. My dad used to tell me, especially about a sibling, stop helping, stop doing, because you're being taken advantage of. And my dad didn't, he didn't, what's the word I'm trying to use? He just spoke out about things. He didn't sugarcoat. That's what I'm trying to say. He didn't sugarcoat these things. He spoke out and said, stop doing it. And I would say, but, you know, this particular sibling, because I don't share names and stuff like that, but I do share examples so you guys can get the point, that they need help because of A, B, C, and D. They're down on their luck, A, B, C, and D. And back then, I didn't really have much to help um, this particular, relative with anything, but I tried my best, and it never mattered. And it took me a long time and through therapy and everything else that my dad was right on the point all the time, you know. And I had to learn not just with this relative, but friends and people who were in my space and place. They were there not because they genuinely cared about me and we were friends and they wanted to help and build me up and motivate me. They were not there for any of those reasons. They were there to leech. Because some people in this world, guys, they don't want to work. They have the ability to work, but they want somebody else to take care of them. They don't want to be responsible because they want it quick like a microwave, or sometimes they get involved in these quick, rich schemes that goes nowhere. They don't want to put in the hard work. They just don't want to do that. They figured they want the easy way out. And one of the reasons, as I think about this and I have meditated over it and I looked at all the things related to this that's happened to me, is that these specific individuals that are leeches, they feel entitlement. Entitled to what? They haven't done the work. Like, for example, like I have a small business, right? Besides working my regular job. And, if someone's there to help me and they're helping me, to get clients and et cetera and so forth like that, they deserve to be paid. They deserve whatever because they're helping, they're putting in the work, right? But when someone just because they know me, right? Hey, I know her and we grew up together or et cetera and so forth, but they are not in your life. They are not helping you in any shape or form. They just know you through friendship, you grew up together, or DNA, you share DNA. They feel entitled because of those things. And nobody is entitled to anything. If they don't put in the hard work, they're not entitled to it. And that's what I have been dealing with. And so I became back then subservient, because feeling guilty because, hey, they're struggling and they're not getting from A to B to C to D. But they're not getting from A, B to C to D because they're not putting in any work. They feel like, okay, you're going to help me. You're going to pay my bills. You're going to do A, B, C, and D. And the least I am today, I would laugh at that and just cut off, block, and delete. I don't have no patience, no time, no empathy or sympathy for that kind of nonsense. But back then, I was a different person. My father used to get so angry with me. We used to have these heated discussions, and I would say, Dad, but blah, blah, this. No, stop doing it, Lisa, stop it. You're being taken advantage. And I can hear him, even though he's not here today, I can hear him because that's how strongly he felt about this. You're being taken advantage of. Stop. Doesn't matter who, what, where, and why. And I get it. And I wish he was here for me to say, Dad, I get this, because that's one thing he would fight with me about all the time, guys. Just help. And when I knew I didn't have the means to help, even now, I just won't do it. I will help people who need help, but somebody who's in a place of feeling entitlement, and not only just feeling entitlement, but thinking that you're supposed to take care of them and do that. I even had like relationships with people and I had to cut it off because what? That's not my place to pay your bills. You need to get a second job, get two, get three, do whatever you need to do to take care of that, because I'm not in your life for that. And I have no problem telling people that today. The old version of myself did, because I would feel sorry because they would have this pity speech about blah, 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 and it's just a bunch of BS, guys. Because they don't want to do the work. They don't want to get up every day, go to a job. They don't want to go to school to get a better education. They don't want to do any of that. They want it quick like a microwave, and they want you to give it to them. And if you have people like this in your life, stop allowing these folks to make you feel guilty if you don't help them. What I learned through therapy, with my therapist, set boundaries. Do a pro and con list. What are they bringing to the table? What are they giving? And after doing a pro and con list, they wasn't giving anything. Breadcrumbs, throwing bones. And I don't accept breadcrumbs or bones, you know. You know, when others want to make you feel guilty for saying no, don't, put on that strong armor, because sometimes you have to say no. Otherwise, you end up with less because you're helping somebody who don't want to help themselves. And that's never going to go any place positive, guys. If they don't want to help themselves, they don't want to work, they don't want to do, that's on them. It's not on me. It has nothing to do with me. These are adults. If these are your children who are minor children or something like that, that's a different story. But people who don't want to do anything and feel entitled, leave them where they are. Set strong boundaries with this situation. I had to stay in prayer with God a lot on this because I had to be sat down to be shown this is not it. Because this is why they were there. They were draining my energy and just taking and not putting anything back on the table. And I had to cut off, block, and delete. After setting strong boundaries and they were still trying to do this, cut off, block, and delete is what I had to do. Especially healing from a lot of pain, grief, and loss. I don't have time for this nonsense. Set strong boundaries, people. Make it clear. And saying no back then for me was very difficult. But the least I am today, I would say no. I don't have to act out a character and do all that other nonsense that people do. Because when you start to heal your mental and physical, and you start to look at things from a different perspective, a different mindset, you don't have to act out a character. You just have to be firm in what you say and mean it and keep it moving. You don't have to do any of that. And I am very firm on those things. And they look at me and but when they see my actions, they see it's matching everything I say. I'm not doing this anymore. And then that's when the lies, the malicious lies started, the gossip, all of that, just because I won't help you anymore. No, you have to help yourself. God won't even help you if you don't help you. If you're not putting any work and asking God to give you A, B, C, D, and E, if you sitting back, it's not going to happen, guys. You have to put in the work, little by little, one step at a time, one brick at a time, because nothing ventured is nothing gained. And some people just, they just don't want to hear that. And never allow anyone, no matter who they are, to make you feel guilty or bad for saying no to them. No is no. You have to, I'll help you find a job. What are your qualifications? I'll help you with that. But I am not going to pay anybody's anything at this point. I work very hard. At this point, I really need a vacation, guys, to just go away, sit in the beach and stuff. And I'm learning slowly how to do that because that's all I do. I feel like it's work. And when somebody want to come and say, oh, they want A, B, C, and D, I just cut them off. I tell them no. And if you're really helping somebody and they need help once or twice, I may do that. But if somebody keeps coming with excuses and A, B, C, and D, because that's what I had all around me before. And I had to set boundaries, as my therapist told me. And then they were jumping and skipping and hopping over the boundaries. I just had to cut off, block, and delete. There was no other way. And then actually relocate myself to a different part of where I live. I don't want that kind of energy in my life because the things like that will bring you down and keep you stuck like crabs in a barrel. You ever see, and I use this as a metaphor a lot, crabs in a barrel, and then one reaches the top, the others pull it back down to the bottom? That's the kind of energy that is. And when you are, you know, really hell bent on focusing on yourself, building yourself up, your mental and your physical, and doing the work, to improve your life in every area, you don't have time for that kind of nonsense. And I know once I learned to say no, I stayed on that, because if you continue to do things that way, you end up, look, one day you have zero, you have nothing because you've been helping somebody who don't want to help themselves. And they don't come once or twice, they keep coming and coming and coming because they feel entitled. When nobody's entitled to anything that you built up unless they're helping you. You pay them for helping you or whatever the case, but they're nowhere around when you're down and out, and when you don't have anything and you're hurting and in pain. They're not there to encourage you, to motivate you, to lift you up. And then when you get up on your feet because of the help of God, and God lifted you up, God brought you out of those struggles and places of hardships and challenges, because you trusted him, you did the work step by step, and he brought you up. He didn't bring me up or you or anybody else for you to have somebody drag you back down like crabs in a barrel. So this is why it's so important to set strong boundaries. And if people are crossing over those boundaries, maybe you want to think about how you want to deal with that on a permanent. But for me, I cut off, block, and delete, because I have nothing more to give to those type of situations. And when you close those doors to that toxicity and negativity and all that stuff over there, and you trust God, you continue to move forward with your mental and physical health and building yourself up, I promise you guys, little by little, God will open up new doors with better situations, better people. You know how sometimes people don't have family, like, for whatever reason, but they have friends who they make their family, people in their life like that. God will open up those doors for you and make sure that you have the support that you need, little by little, one step at a time. And I'm living proof of that, and I just keep it moving. And sometimes those things, that knowing that people want to come into your life not for good reasons, it can be hurtful. And this is why I stay in prayer. Music helps, and do things to uplift my spirit, especially in this world we're living today with uncertain times and situations. And while some people live in fear and, oh my God, what's going to happen? I'm in prayer because I know God has me. Because if God is for you, then what can be against you, guys? And I'm not religious or anything, but I am a very, very person very connected to God. And I see the good that he's bringing in my life. And I do give back in different ways. One of the ways is being on this channel. Other ways is paying tithes, to a church, and just helping people, praying for them things, uplifting their spirits, because that's what people need today, instead of the toxicity, the drama, and all the negativity. We need to be around people to uplift us and encourage us to keep moving forward, especially when we start to feel despair. Be around people like that. God will open doors and bring people like that into your life, guys. But never feel that you have to give to somebody just to keep somebody in your life, and especially someone who don't care about you, way or the other, one way or the other. Guys, keep moving forward. And keep building yourself up, and ask God to help you. I know it has helped me. That's the message today, guys. Do something every day for yourself. Even, excuse me, even if it's an hour and a half, do something for you. Something that's going to calm your spirit. Take care of your physical and mental health. I named a few when I started this video. Just think laughter, the beach, taking a walk into nature, music, things that calms your spirit. And there's just comedy shows, laughter, all these things. And be around people who are going to help you to do this. That's the message again today, guys. I'll be back here tomorrow with a new message. Please keep tuning in, because some of these messages will resonate with you, and subscribe to the channel as well. That way you'll know when I'm here. Unfortunately, I am uploading this video today because when I tried to get on YouTube, there's some technical difficulties again, and I don't have time to deal with that right now. But I want to get the message to you. It's so important. And be true to yourself. Guys, have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. This is Lisa, always shedding love and light. Bye for now, guys.